Alrighty then, here we go. So, starting off the evening with mono black Karn in the Pioneer format. So, Karn, the Great Creator, is a 4-mana planeswalker with, again, the powerful ability to -2, choose an artifact card you own from outside the game or in exile, reveal that card, and put it into your hand. So, Aspiringspike, the creator of this deck, the mono green Karn deck, and I assume the inspiration for the mono white Karn deck that I played yesterday, being the mono white Devotion Shell plus Karn, basically identified that this is a very, very good card in the metagame right now for its ability to fetch Tormod's Crypt, which is a 0-mana artifact out of your sideboard, which says sacrifice Tormod's Crypt, exile all cards from target player's graveyard. So that's really good against the inverter deck in that you just put this into play and it makes them awkward for them to combo. It's also reasonable against the Sultai Delirium deck. You can crack it to get rid of an Uro or 2 out of their graveyard. They've put effort into filling up their graveyard with a bunch of things that they expect to gain some value with, and or you can use it in response to them casting a Traverse the Ulvenwald and disable their Delirium on that. So makes those cards less powerful. Then we also have the ability to get Damping Sphere, which is good against the other one of the other best decks in the format. Maybe I will finally get to play against it, which is Lotus Breach combo. So Damping Sphere says if a land is tapped for 2 or more mana, like Lotus Field, it produces colorless instead of any other type and amount, which is really, really important because they've sacrificed 2 lands to get this 1 land that gives them 3 mana, which all of a sudden now gives them 1 mana, and it's colorless on top of it. So that's really going to mess with them. And then the second ability on it says each spell a player casts costs 1 more to cast for each other spell that player has cast this turn, which again, when they're trying to play multiple spells all in one turn, then it's going to be a problem for them. On top of that, Karn is able to fetch us other silver bullet artifacts. So we've got Bolas' Citadel. There's 1 copy in the main deck, 1 in the sideboard. This is just an incredible value engine, especially with the card Grey Merchant of Asphodel, which I'll get into in a minute. But it allows you to play the top card of your library by paying life equal to its converted mana cost. You can kind of churn through your deck in a way very similar to Experimental Frenzy. The rest of the board is familiar cards from the other Karn sideboards like Skysovereign, which is excellent in mid-range fights, Walking Ballista, which is good against wide creature decks and other mid-range fights. You can get a land with Darksteel Citadel. Nyx Lotus I cut from other decks. It'll be interesting if it ever comes up, but this is a 4-mana artifact that enters the battlefield tapped and basically functions like a Nykthos Shrine to Nyx. It gives you mana equal to your devotion to a particular color. So interested to see that. And then one of the things we get to play uniquely in this deck is Noxious Gearhulk, which is a 5/4 menace for 6. When it enters the battlefield, you can destroy another creature, and then you gain life equal to its toughness. So that would be good against all sorts of stompy decks. And Wishclaw Talisman, which is sort of like a demonic tutor. The interesting thing about it is Wishclaw Talisman is meant to have a downside where you give it to your opponent and then they're able to start making wishes with it. But if you still control Karn, the Great Creator, they cannot activate that ability. We also do have sideboard cards in this deck, similar to the mono white deck. So we've got 2 copies of Agonizing Remorse. So these are sort of Thoughtseizes 5 and 6 when Fatal Push is no good. And we've got Davriel, Rogue, Shadowmage, which can really grind down our opponent's hand and then start attacking them. So against control decks and combo decks, we've definitely got a bunch of tools that we're going to sideboard for. Now, the main deck is a mono black Devotion deck. So we've got the 8 pieces of mono black interaction, 4 Thoughtseize and 4 Fatal Push right down here. We've also got a singleton copy of Cling to Dust, which exiles cards from graveyards and gives you value for doing that. But then all of our creatures essentially have at least 2 black mana symbols in their mana cost in order to give us a high devotion count. And then the devotion payoffs we're playing are Tymaret, Chosen from Death, which has toughness equal to your black. But more importantly, we've got Grey Merchant of Asphodel all the way up here at the 5 slot, which drains our opponent for X life. We gain X life equal to our devotion to black. I think this deck beat up on Aspiringspike's mono green planeswalker decks. Well, thanks for joining me, Kamim in chat. Anyway, it is definitely possible for this deck to ruckus the mono green deck, as you have powerful early game disruption into things like Liliana, which keep their permanents on a very low count. So we're going to hop into a league here, see how she goes. And excited to play yet another Karn brew on this wonderful Karn-filled week. There it is. So mono black mid-range / control with Karn to give us a tutor package. We'll see how that stacks up against the Pioneer format right now. Just playing 4 Fatal Push and 4 Thoughtseize is definitely a good place to be. Castle Locthwain is an excellent tool for grinding. So depending on how games go, if we're able to Tormod's Crypt our Sultai Delirium opponents and then just set up a Castle Locthwain, we might be able to grind them out. I have seen him Spike running this deck with a slightly different sideboard setup that had Leyline of the Void, which we'll see if that's really important. This is a slow hand, but I think it's a keep on the play. This deck doesn't really suffer too much from having a turn 1 tap land. And then we are playing a 25 land deck, so hopefully we can draw another one in our next 2 draws. Plains, alright. Looks like it is likely to be the mono-white Heliod deck. Heliod Ballista combo. Alright, so we're going to fire off Gifted Aetherborn here. It's fairly likely they're going to play a relevant creature on turn 2, which will get their hand a little more empty. And the more empty their hand is, the more likely Yarok's Fenlurker is to get some good value. Baffling End in the main deck. Well, there goes my Gifted Aetherborn. This does clear the way for me to jam a Liliana here, so I think, yeah, especially with the Murderous Riders back up, we're definitely going to do that. So won't kill the Thraben Inspector, but puts it on 0 power, so they're going to have to take a proactive approach in order to be able to deal with my Liliana, and this Murderous Rider can deal with most things that they can put out. Same with Fatal Push. Heliod. Yep. Heliod doesn't actually add to the board in any significant way at the moment. And if we hold up interaction on the next turn, then we'll be able to diffuse any potential for them to make Heliod into a 5/5 creature. So should be in good shape here. I don't think I want to play Yarok's Fenlurker. Causes me to tap down more than I want to. Because currently, even if they play a Planeswalker, we're able to just blow it up with Swift End. Knight of the White Orchid is a good play here. They get to search out any land that they want. Of course, we can swiftly end the Knight of the White Orchid's time on the battlefield here. Alright. Alright there, Amerson Avenger. What do you got? Idyllic Grange? Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do you have the time? So they could make their Thraben Inspector into a 0/2 with a +1/+1 counter. If they put it on their Knight of the White Orchid, I'm pretty incentivized to push that already, so that's not going to be a great choice for them, but they could make it. I want to cast Fatal Push this turn because it's less universal removal than Murderous Rider, and then I think we'd really like to peel a land here. Castle Locthwain would obviously be the best one, so that we can, sure, perfect, extra value to the creature we're going to kill. Peel a land here so we can play Fenlurker into Swift End next turn. What do they has? Hopefully it's not another 2-pip creature. It's a Gideon of the Trials. That is even better than 2-pip creature. We do have the out here, so we've got the double removal spell, but still doesn't feel great. They prevented all damage that my Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth would deal until the next turn, which is certainly something. I'm going to let them attack. It's not particularly high value, but get to make sure the Heliod is tapped. Perfect. Well, it's not that perfect. Certainly okay. To fire off this Yarok's Fenlurker. We do get to have them exile one of the last 2 cards in their hand, which is pretty good. They exiled Plains. Hopefully the remaining card in their hand is not the hottest of gasoline. Alright, what do you got, nerd? Ballista on 2. Banalish Marshal. Yep. That animated their Heliod. That's definitely pretty good. Tap for 6. So they can give nothing lifelink. But they do draw a card, and then they could play that card. The card is a Thraben Inspector. Not bad at all. And then my Yarok's Fenlurker has to chump block their Heliod here, so they were also able to chain off a draw there with their Thraben Inspector. So definitely getting a little bit outclassed right now. Gotta chump block the Heliod. He is a big boy. Thoughtseize is less than great here. So I think kind of priced into minusing my Liliana. Pick up Fenlurker, exile the last card in their hand, and play this Murderous Rider. Yeah, doesn't feel good, but could flip something like Tymaret. Murderous Rider's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we murder their Banalish Marshal, they do not have enough devotion for Heliod to be alive. So let's see if we can Thoughtseize something relevant out of their hand. Might be a land. Yeah, it is a land. Unfortunate. So can pass the turn here. That deck doesn't play any combat tricks. They'll be able to attack my Liliana for 2, which is not great. I think I was kind of hedging on her being able to ultimate this game, but so she's gonna get hit for 3. Attack Liliana with all, then I plus there. I have Heliod attack me. It doesn't really matter because I'm going to Swift End him, but shisha. Or I'm going to Swift End the Banalish Marshal, which will cause the Heliod to cease being a creature. They're going to give a bunch of their creatures lifelink, which I suppose would be... Ah, okay. Yeah, so... No, they could have done that anyway. I would have reduced the amount of mana they'd have access to, but yeah, I definitely should have killed the Banalish Marshal on my turn. No, they didn't even use the Nykthos. Alright, cool. We're good. Opponent does not know how they're interacting with the interface here, but that's okay. And let me make sure we're on. There we go. Fabled Passage is not the greatest draw, but certainly not atrocious. Because it means I can play both my Murderous Riders. So minus on Thraben Inspector, we'll play 1 Murderous Rider. Play a 2nd Murderous Rider. Pass the turn back. So next turn I can down tick my Liliana, pick up Yarok's Fenlurker, and play the 3rd Liliana, which is like not the greatest, but something. Perfect. So we're in a bit of a holding pattern for now, but we could definitely crack out of this reasonably quickly if we draw a Karn or otherwise. Tymaret or Yarok's. I think Tymaret's slightly better here. Okay. So play my boy Ticonderoga. Tap for Devotion to Black, which is 6 mana. Play Liliana. Then I can exile a number of cards from graveyards. Gain some life. Cool. Then tick up on their 3/4. So as long as they don't Ballista combo me out of this game, we're going to be A-okay. The problem is they can Ballista us out with the top deck at any moment, so definitely want to get some traction here. If they put a Ballista on the stack, we're just toast. Yeah. All right. GG, move on to game 2. Karn would have been great at any point there, but sometimes that is the way the draw breaks. I don't think we're going to sideboard here. So Agonizing Remorse or Davriel, neither of them seem particularly good here. I guess because most of their creatures won't die to Liliana, maybe I can go 2-1. Grinding down their hand. So if I get something like Thoughtseize, and then Yarok's Fenlurker, and then Davriel, that could be a way to get some card advantage, knock some extra cards out of their hand. Kept this hand. It's not particularly strong. It's got double Tymaret. And it's got a tap land on one, but we do have Thoughtseize into Davriel, assuming we draw one of our 25 lands, 23 remaining lands. Inspector. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. Alright, Castle. Sweet. None of their turn 2 plays are particularly intimidating, so we're going to Tymaret here. Just get a 2/2 blocker into play, which gives me a little more wiggle room on my Davriel. Gifted Aetherborn's a good pickup. Means I get to Thoughtseize this turn, and then Davriel next turn. Whew. That is a stacked hand. So they don't have another land, but they do have the clue. Once they get their next land down, which is the most problematic, Banalish Marshal's not a huge problem. Stasis Snare is more problematic. Though Gideon's pretty good here too. Jeez, that's a tough one, huh? They do play Nykthos, but Nykthos gives them 3 white already anyway. I think if I want to maximize the efficacy of Davriel, we hit that. So currently our hand, woof. Alright, here comes Banalish Marshal. So they can attack for 3 here. They won't deal any damage, so that ain't not bad. To play Davriel here, hit one of the cards in their hand, force them into not the greatest of attacks. Although, no, they have pretty good attacks here. We'll see what they choose. Alright, they peeled the land, but they dumped their Gideon, so... Stasis Snare my Gifted Aetherborn? That's a pain in the butt. Yeah. Because I have another Tymaret in hand. I can't protect my Davriel, so... Just a rough break all over in this matchup. Definitely seems like it's not particularly good for us. You can attack with everything, dude. It's fine. Dude, do that. Dude, bro. Dude, bot. Yeah, it's fine. Davriel's super dead. Now, we're not dying too quickly, so I guess that's one saving grace, and we can start activating Castle Locthwain as soon as we draw another land, although we're at a reasonably low life total, so that's not the best. 2 mana? Sure. What do you got? Anafenza? Ballista on 1? Nothing. I have suspicions. Wow. Well, that's going to be a tough one. So if we rip 2 lands in a row... Oh, it's so bad in this matchup. Alright. Which makes me think maybe we should have boarded out the Karns. Oh well. Live and learn, I suppose. Suppose I can get Darksteel Citadel for the minimum amount of value, play it this turn, so I can play Bolas' Citadel next turn, and depending on how they attack, they could get themselves into not the greatest situation, but if they just boot up Gideon and swing with a 6/6 Gideon, that's going to be not pleasant. Yep. Alright, 5/5 indestructible, you said. I disagree. Yep. Karn's super dead. Sorry, bud. Getting out of here. Alright. Gotta top deck a land and then just go nuts with Citadel. I think that's the line. 10 mana. Nice devotion deck. Oh my god, is this Ballista on 6? Sure. Yeah, just kill my board. It's fine. I don't need devotion. So how do I... We have to hit the land. No, okay. Okay. Alright, so match 1 completely trashed by mono white devotion. No experience with this deck so far, so I don't know if that's like a terrible matchup. Certainly doesn't seem great. This deck is definitely not as linearly powerful as the mono green deck, but it definitely has good interaction, so... See if we can get something better going here in match number 2. So this is a kind of sketchy hand. I'm going to keep it. We have land Thoughtseize on 1. And then because the land is Urborg, we can actually play the Yarok's Fenlurker onto, so it's actually not as sketchy as I... Huh. So is it in Soul? Yes, it is. Fenlurker is going to get rid of a random card from their hand, so we're just going to get rid of the in Soul here. So they're going to be able to play Bomat Courier, attack us. If I had another piece of removal, I would take out the Bomat Courier and just leave them with the Ginger Brute. Unfortunately for us, this Fenlurker is going to eat it to one of their burn spells, but they don't have an Ensoul artifact to blow us away, so hopefully we can peel another land or another blocker or something that gets us in better shape. Yeah, so there's the Wild Slash, sure. Bomat's gone, one of the Lightning Strikes is gone, Steam Vents, okay. They not hit a second land. I guess that's pretty good for us. We can get to the point where we slam this Karn. It does turn off their ability to activate the Bomat Courier, so... There's our fourth land, so we could, in fact, get there. The problem is, when we play Karn, they'll be able to play the Ginger Brute. Yeah, so they're playing it this turn, so they're going to have 2 power on the battlefield, so... We can play the Karn. Karn's going to get hit, and they can use the other... They do not have another Wild Slash. They have a Lightning Strike. That's right. Okay. So this Karn is definitely getting me a land, because the next turn I can play the Grey Merchant, whether or not I draw a land off the top. And then if we get further than that, we'll figure out the game from that point. I guess I could have just grabbed Walking Ballista with that, but this is definitely a reasonable play. Shoot. Oh, they drew it in Soul. Oh, God. All right. Okay. That was a great pickup. I really don't want them to be able to crack this Bomat, but so I can push the Ginger Brute. Their hand is Strike plus the Courier. The Courier can't kill Karn on his own. The Strike can, so if they draw another land... So why don't we do push here, and then Karn and plus on nothing. Which feels real awkward, but if... So they have a Lightning Strike in their hand still, as well as 3 unknowns. But they're choked on mana, so they have to have Red Source plus a Wild Slash. And then this stops their Bomat Courier from getting them as much card advantage as it would. If they have Red Source, Lightning Strike, Wild Slash, you know, we'll take it. They Shrapnel Blasted my Karn with their Bomat Courier. I'll take it. Here's my Bolas' Citadel. Top card's land, but we do have a Grey Merchant in hand, so should be in real good shape from this point. So Bolas' Citadel allows us to play the top card of our library by paying life, and then we can sacrifice 10 non-land permanents and drain our opponent for 10. So keep this Nykthos, play the Fenlurker on top, lose 2. Okay, so there's a second Grey Merchant on the top, so I'm going to play the one in my hand first. So opponent loses 7. Then we play the second one, we pay 5 life, then we draw them, or gain them, drain them for 10, and then that should be game. Opponent's Ghost Fire Blades not doing them much good here. So game 1 goes to the Mono Black Devotion. I don't think we're sideboarding in this game. Just got to get another decent draw. So this is one of those hands that's like a little weird. I'm going to keep it. We have two very good pieces of of interaction in this match. Holy crap. Wow, this Thoughtseize is going to cost me 6 life. So Leyline of Combustion is the red Leyline. They're able to put it into play for free at the beginning of the game if it's in their opening hand. It says whenever you and or at least one permanent you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, they can, or they deal 2 damage to us. So if I push this Hope, I take 4. If I Thoughtseize them, I take 4. Then I take 2 from the Thoughtseize, so I take 6. So it just makes interacting with them exceptionally painful. Stonecoil X2, that's fine. I think based on the fact that they could play in Soul on this next turn, I'm just going to hold up my Fatal Push here. Suppose I could have Thoughtseized them for efficiency's sake, but if I don't have to Thoughtseize them, I don't want to. Ghost Fireblade is fine. Probably going on the Hope. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. I think I have to push it and then play Gifted Aetherborn to block the other one. So take 4 plus 2 this turn, go to 13. Second Gifted Aetherborn is a pretty tremendous draw. I don't think I take 6 to Thoughtseize them. I think I just leave them with their hand and we kind of make our peace with it. This has Death Touch no matter what, so maybe they have Shrapnel Blast to clear out my Gifted Aetherborn and then Skilled Animator. Okay, so they're going to make their Darksteel Citadel into a 5/5. Yeah, right. So got to find an answer for that. More specifically for the Skilled Animator. Liliana's not a great one. So it looks like we're taking 5. No, 3. Because she can shrink it. And we won't take any... What? No. Spell or ability? Oh, that's nuts. So, very commonly in recent card design, these kind of cards have said spells only, and apparently this is not one of them. So I reduced the amount of damage they were going to deal by 2 and took 4, which is something. Oh, they're killing my Liliana here, that's fine. As long as they're not killing me, that's the bigger deal. Gotta draw a Fatal Push here. Fenlurker is not a Fatal Push. It is a Jump Blocker. Gray Merchant on the next turn would be a really good draw. Let's see what we can do here. So if they swing with Stone Coil, we take 3 points of trample, kill it, gain 2, so net loss of -1. They swing with the Citadel. I'm just going to chuck the Yarok's Fenlurker under the bus. Yeah, so just looking to sort of attrition our way through this for now. Can play Liliana next turn, pick up the Fenlurker, play it. So we can generate a number of chump blockers here. Wow. Mill 2 Fenlurkers. Sure, why not? Opponent exiles the third ley line from their hand. I'll take it. Okay, this could mean that they rip the Shrapnel Blast, but it doesn't end up killing me here. They're attacking the Liliana, that's fine. I would gladly trade my Gifted Aetherborn and my Liliana for their Stone Coil. Sure. Karn might be something here. Think I'm getting Walking Ballista to just chump block for a turn. Staying alive is the top priority right now. So if I can get my Noxious Gearhulk, I can blow up their skilled animator and gain 5. Because they actually can't re-equip right now. And actually, if they have to attack Karn with both in order to kill it, so I could just block. Yeah, so they attack only Karn, block it with Gifted Aetherborn, and then we get Noxious Gearhulk, take 4, but we kill their skilled animator and gain 5. So maybe pulling back into this game. Let's see. Draw step something. I don't like it. Stop. You gotta be kidding me. Wow. Why would you even do that during my draw step? Why wouldn't you just do it at the end of your turn? I don't know. Alright, well. Every single time I target something with Walking Ballista, I take 4 damage, so maybe I should have just gone straight for the Noxious Gearhulk. And let them... Goodness gracious. Alright, well. I don't know what we can top deck. But we're going to 3 here, so very little. No, I don't have a Fabled Passage anymore, so cannot Fatal Push their skilled animator. So yeah, that was a tough one. Double opening ley line. That's savage. All right, so can I board out Thoughtseizes? And if so, Davriel still targets. Suppose Agonizing Remorse is less damage, so. All right. Yeah, that was pretty good. It's a piece of technology I have not seen yet. Yes, I would like to play first. Oh, Bolas' Citadel in the opening again. I am going to keep this. Fatal Push is just too good against them to resist. Double ley line again. Well, Gifted Aetherborn is a good draw, so we're going to hold on to our push for a little bit. We definitely have to foil an Ensoul artifact, but other than that, don't need to fire it off proactively here. This does put them down 2 cards to start, so. Is it worth holding out the Fatal Push and taking 3? Take 4. So if they fire off an Ensoul here, Gifted Aetherborn is better than holding. So if they have the Ensoul, they've got the nuts, and they just hit me for 5 here. We get to Fatal Push them next turn, which is a Brade. Sure. They don't have an artifact creature right now, and they don't have a Darksteel Citadel, so I'm going to play this Liliana and get beat up a little bit by killing their Bowman Courier. It's unfortunately worth doing. And then next turn I can scoop up my Gifted Aetherborn, replay that. Possibly Agonizing Remorse them, although that's clearly really sucky to have to do. They are booting up their Mutavault to attack my Liliana, so feel like playing the Gifted Aetherborn is where we want to be. Pick up a Murderous Rider, but that's not really good in the face of their double ley line. And then this costs me 5 life. I think I'd rather hold up Fatal Push. Ginger Brute is fine. Ghost Fireblade also acceptable. So we're going to swing in and gain 2. I think I kill their Ginger Brute. So this can equip to their Mutavault for 1 mana. They didn't play a land there, so this is a very strange game in terms of how I have to portion my life. So I'm going to take 4 here to kill their Ginger Brute, but getting their sort of evasive creature off the table is important. Go up to 12, and then if they animate and equip the Mutavault, I'm definitely going to push it. I do take 4 damage, but okay. Okay, so we're kind of doing okay here. Draw step something again. Why? Why are you draw stepping this? I don't understand what's happening. Who's getting shrapnel blasted? You shrapnel blast my Liliana during my draw step. Again, I don't understand the value in that particular timing, but okay. So gonna go to 14 here. I think I'm gonna take the 5 and Agonizing Remorse them now. It sucks, but there's a good chance that this... Yeah, so I get to hit their skilled animator here. Or Stone Coil. Pretty much equally valuable. So, but I don't have to revolt my Fatal Push in order to be able to remove the Stone Coil. They drew a second Mutavault. It's actually okay. The way this game is going right now, that's fine. So 4/4 Stone Coil. I'm going to take 4 to kill it. They can swing for 4 next turn. I can kill one of the Mutavaults for the low cost of 4 damage. So I'm going to go to 7. No, I'm not going to 7. Sick. Alright. Thanks, Gary. Yay. And then this means I can play my Bolas' Citadel next turn, which is great. Opponent is living off the top of their deck, so let's see if we can get there. Gaining 4 life was a huge deal there, and they top deck Spire Bluff. That's great. Land. Land is fine. I should not have played that before I play the Citadel. I'm going to attack with both creatures, see if they boot up double Mutavault to try to kill something. So I'm going to get to blow them out with my Fatal Push. Just get them onto basically no resources, and then get to slam this Citadel, and that should get us out of here. So I need get out of here. We're not at 5 or less, so Skilled Animator or Shrapnel Blast would not have killed us there. Ginger Brute puts us to 8. Play the top card. Do I want to play a Yarok's Fenlurker for 2 life points? I don't think so. I think we'll just attack with this Gifted Aetherborn. I can draw the Fenlurker with Locthwain, take 2. And then just play it. Sure. Opponent has to exile a card from hand, not relevant. Then we've presented lethal attackers. I don't think there's anything they could possibly draw to stop me. Yep, so they can get through for 1 here, but this puts them dead on board. So I'm not really sure why they're doing it, but I think that they just didn't do the math. So tough break in match 1 against Mono White Devotion, but we got there against Is It in Soul, so that feels good. Pump my Fenlurker. So Fenlurker actually has 3 mana, gains +1/+1 until end of turn. It is a shade, so we done did it. Baboosh! All right, I will be back in 2 seconds, and then we'll continue on to match number 3. Alrighty, match the 3rd with Mono Black Devotion. So that's pretty sweet. Is It in Soul put us on the ropes pretty quickly. I don't know if their double Leyline of Combustion draws were actually that good for them. Put them very behind on cards. Alrighty. Match the 3rd. Stainerson. On the draw. It's kind of rough hand, although we do get 4 Black Devotion. We have a double Nykthos, so if we draw a swamp somewhere in this, this could be really good depending on what archetype our opponent's on. Ooh. So could be 5-color Niv. Could be... Oh, what's that deck? Paradoxical Outcome? No, not Paradoxical Outcome. Possibility Storm. Oh, well. Opponent mulls to 5. Thoughtseize. It's Niv. Oh, you poor bastard. In this case, I'm using the word bastard to refer to a person of any gender, who in this case is very unfortunate against our draw. We're just going to whittle them down to next to 0 resources. So they played the Tomb. They exile Hour of Devastation. Sure. Play the Sun Petal Grove. So their hand is Niv +1. That's a tough draw, but we're actually going to be able to play the Karn either way. So and they exiled the Niv. All right, so we know 0 cards in their hand now. Sylvan Caryatid. Yep. So they are almost in the Niv Mizzet waiting room. All right, so we got double legendary lands here. So I can use this to add 4. Playing Karn doesn't increase the amount of mana I have this turn. Exiling their graveyard is not super relevant. I think I want to get the Citadel, because this means next turn I can play my Gifted Aetherborn and then activate Nykthos for 6 and play a Bolas' Citadel. I think that's the fastest way to start closing this game. If they have the 4th color land... Okay, they just scooped out. That's fair. That was a really brutal draw, and I had the Thoughtseize right off the bat. So, Fatal Push is definitely not great in this matchup, so we're going to bring in the Agonizing Remorses for sure. And then the 2 Davriels will be fine, and I think we board out a Karn, because he's definitely not spectacular here, and we roll with this. So there's very little in the Wish board that actually affects the Niv Mizzet deck particularly well. They can be playing copies of... Wow, this is a good hand. They can be playing copies of Udo, Titan of Nature's Wrath, which does come out of the graveyard. So our Tormod Crypt is definitely somewhat useful, but not as good as it is against Inverter, Breach. Wow, this hand just keeps getting better. Nice Thought Erasure, nerd. Fire off Agonizing Remorse here, and then we could let them play the Questing Beast, and then we'll be able to snipe it off with Murderous Rider. So I think taking the Bring to Light has higher just general value. Temple Garden tap, sure. Think put the Gifted Aetherborn on the battlefield. It does mean I'm going to get hit for 4 by Questing Beast, but I don't mind that too much. This matchup's generally not going to be about them aggroing us out. It's mostly going to be about the longer game. Yep. Okay, so they've got Mana Confluence and multiple unknowns. They can cast a Bring to Light or a Niv Mizzet here, so they could definitely start crushing us into powder. But they're choosing to cast something, so Thought Erasure. Sure, that's not super relevant here. If they hit the Liliana, we get to double Fenlurker them. Yeah, there's a reason they didn't do that. Getting double Fenlurkered here would be really bad. Yeah, not surprised to see them not cast anything. So let's see what gets exiled off of this. Abrupt Decay. That makes sense. So likely one of their Haymakers is what is remaining in their hand, so going to be less than great for us, but Nahiri. It's not too bad. If they exile my Gifted Aetherborn, yeah, okay, cool. Not surprised to see them plus there to try to... Yeah, now they're living off the top of their library. So that's a place where we're reasonably happy to have them. So if I attack the Nahiri with both my creatures now, and we plus the Fenlurker, get to hit her for 4, we can do the same again next turn. Cling to Dust is an interesting inclusion in this deck as a one-of. I can exile a non-creature card from their graveyard and draw a card. So let's exile their Thought Erasure. That's exactly what I wanted to draw. Perfect. So they can use Nahiri to kill one of my creatures, or they can use her to loot. If they use her to loot, then I am definitely able to kill her this turn. So let's see. They have a removal spell here at instant speed. We're going to get a little blown out, but cool. Don't do it. Damn it. Double damn it. Oh, that's so bad. And us not having a land, not drawing a land was also bad. So Nahiri's buying them essentially infinite time. Pitch Solar Blaze and they draw Uro. So I can Cling to Dust that, but oh my goodness. Oh no, I can't because I have to exile 5 other cards from my graveyard to do so. Oh, that's rough. So they've got blue, 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 green, green. So they've got infinite ways to get their Uro back. Playing Liliana. Milling myself and picking up my Gifted Aetherborn is the best line here. It's not great, but if I draw a Nykthos, I will have access to a lot of mana. Man, that's Nahiri. What are you doing there, Nahiri? Teferi. Oh my god, that's a beating. Wow. Yeah, and they can still awaken Uro, and they still get to loot. Goodness gracious. Okay. So, definitely our deck experiencing being the mid-range deck that is not the Niv Mizzet deck. They are playing all 5 colors, and they get to play the best tools from all of them. Play Davriel, hit their hand, and play Gifted Aetherborn. Reduce Uro's power by an insignificant margin. Davriel deals 2 damage to them because they don't have enough cards in hand, which is not going to be relevant against the Uro, but, you know, it's there. As soon as they... Yeah, I'm done with this game. We're not coming back from that. That's way too many cards, way too much value. We can't get it all off the battlefield. Alright, let's try the last one. Ooh, don't think I can keep that. Just has no hand disruption. That's better. It's actually got some early plays, but woof. Yeah. So this hand needs to draw nothing but disruption. We need to draw non-stop Thoughtseize and Agonizing Remorse to try to disrupt their early game. That is not one of those things. Gifted Aetherborn does get to attack in through the Sylvan Caryatid, but if they just jam Nahiri or even Hostage Taker here, we're going to be in trouble. So we got the game 1 off them mulling to 5, but I don't think we'll be able to repeat that at all against that deck. I think the mono black devotion deck definitely does better when Niv Mizzet is not part of the metagame as much. They are the deck that preys on midrange like nothing else. Huh. They gotta plus him, right? Okay, they're just... I hate it when they do that. So we kill Teferi, play Gifted Aetherborn. If they have Niv Mizzet or Bring to Light here, we are in huge trouble. Good lord. Yeah, that's an ideal game for them. We just didn't disrupt them at all. Abrupt Decay, Nahiri, Dreadbore, Teferi, and Bring to Light. So they're on 10 cards in hand. I swear I never get games like this when I play Pioneer Niv. It's not true at all, but... So Swift and their Niv, Kraken for 4. It's not great. But he drew them 5 and they immediately discarded 3, so I don't know if he actually plus them that many cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Nahiri can exile my Gifted Aetherborn. Tymaret. Really? Ah, right, the Abrupt Decay, of course. Ah, of course. Alright, and we're just done here? Yeah. Yeah, just draw did not work out, so needed to draw things like Thoughtseize and Agonizing Remorse earlier, and we did not. That's alright. So this deck definitely has some vulnerabilities. Being the sort of slower mid-range deck that it is definitely not easy when you run into that thing. Double Thoughtseize. I mean, it's something. Opponent does not mulligan, but we'll take it. Baroya. Temple of Malady. Oh, I hope they're playing Seasons Past. I missed that deck. Triple Thoughtseize. It's got to be Niv Mizzet again, though. I think it's the only deck that is currently playing Temples. Woo. Oh, wow. It, like, totally is Seasons Past. So I've got plenty of removal that can kill a Kalitas. Do I? Is that true? Yes. I have a reasonable amount of removal that can kill a Kalitas, so we'll leave it in their hand for now. They peeled Sylvan Advocate. Well, that sucks. I know the entire rest of their hand. There's nothing that they're going to be playing next turn, so just get Tymaret down here. What a badass. If I can get my devotion up any higher, we'll be able to block very nicely here. So I'm going to Thoughtseize their Kalitas, because I did not draw any removal for him. Play Yarok's Fenlurker. And now I have a reasonable blocker for the Sylvan Advocate. I think that was a missequence. I think I should have played the Fenlurker first. There's a chance that they exile the Vraska. So gives them more of a chance to make a misplay. So they still have the Vraska in hand, but requires 6 mana, so I'm just going to murder this and start attacking. They had a hero's downfall. Well, definitely not winning this game quickly. Still didn't draw their 5th land, so free to Murderous Rider. They have their own Murderous Rider. Very well. What if your rider met a nasty end? Do you suppose he would recover? Oh, goodness. Well, yeah, let's fire off this Liliana. Attack for 1. Suppose now is the time to Thoughtseize. Yeah, I'm going to take the tracker. Oof, timing. I'm going to mill myself, pick up my Tymaret. Next turn I can play Tymaret, start eating the creatures out of their bin and gaining a little bit of life. Also sets me up for a bigger Grey Merchant soon. Scoos? Oh, that's so rude. Shoot, they're going to eat their own stuff. Yep, very, very smart. Good opponent. Luckily, my Tymaret is going to have a quite large amount of toughness, so can still block this Scoos, but well done on their side. Is there any other creatures? There are not. So I'm just going to eat their whole yard, just get them further away from both Delirium and what is it, Spell Mastery? I believe is the mechanic for can't remember the name of the card. The 5-mana tutor that they play. Okay. Eat the last card of their yard. Dark Petition? Dark Petition. Yeah, it's not Infernal Tutor, it's Dark Petition. We got there. We got there. Oh boy. This can't be good. What? Oh, I did leave it in their hand. Well, yeah, that's a whole thing. At least they plussed it. Gives me some time to try to deal. Swamp. So I can Gray Merchant them for 8 this turn, and then assuming that they don't remove a single one of my creatures, I Gray Merchant them for 10 next turn. In theory, they could see that coming, but we will see if they do anything about it. So Vraska does have a -3 that says destroy target artifact, creature, or enchantment. Actually, no, I can Gray Merchant them for 8 again, so it doesn't matter if they kill any of my creatures. They need to kill 2 things this turn. Vraska gives them 1 for free. She kills a creature and they eat it with Scavenging Ooze. That still doesn't get them high enough. They're still going to take exactly 8. They kill Tymaret. Yeah, that makes sense. Gives them the most open swing here. If they don't have another removal spell, we're okay. If they do, we're going to be in big, 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 big trouble. Yep. Having good times here, friends. These are the good times. Pretty sure I'm priced into blocking here. I have a 2-4 against their 3-4. Green-black not normally known for combat tricks like that. Sylvan Advocate. Okay, good. So we got this one by the skin of our teeth, but we got it. Thanks, Gary. Oh, Gary. Yeah. Got him. Alright. Going to sideboarding here. Looks like push is worth keeping, but I kind of want these Agonizing Remorses or Davriels. So if I cut Fenlurker, Fatal Push, Gifted Aetherborn, and a Karn for these 4, something like that. I think that's pretty good. 4 Murderous Riders seems like a lot. Oh, Liliana is also kind of... I don't know about Liliana against that deck, but I think Davriel might be a little bit better. Just grinding all the cards out of their hands. We seem to get Liliana Liliana flooded a lot. I'm going to keep this. It's not great, but it's got a really good curve, and then we could draw into more good spells. We have a double Nykthos, so we can get some seriously powerful mana turns. Opponent did mulligan, so that ain't not bad, as I like to say. Liliana is a great pickup on this one. Knowing it's the only one in our deck is not the end of the world either. Okay, I don't have another discard spell, but if I take Advocate, I think I leave the Advocate. It's just a 2/3. So take Downfall, they draw a card, play a land, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, then they play the Advocate, they have land. Plan here is to attrition them out, and I'm not taking their tracker, so definitely making a somewhat sketchy decision. See if it works out. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. See if it works out. Karn is not the worst pickup here. Don't think they're overly likely to just jam the tracker here, although they could. It would actually be a really good play for them. If they don't have anything else to do, I'm sure they... Yeah, shoot. Should have taken the tracker. We'll see how much we get punished for it. We do have a Karn, so Karn shuts off their ability to crack clues. Oh. Oh. Well then... Yeah, we just do this, huh? Yeah. Thanks, deck. I knew the deck would have our back. I knew it. Knew it. It's going to be fine. It's all fine here now. If they get another tracker, we're going to be able to get Karn on the battlefield, and then they will not be able to crack clues, which is great. So, looking to be in okay shape here. Opponent hasn't fired off a Thoughtseize or anything of that nature. There it is. I was literally like, are they not playing Thoughtseize? They must be, and there it is. It's okay, they can't hit us too hard here. Could take our Karn, probably the best. Although it doesn't add to our devotion right now, so I don't know. Davriel's also really good against this situation that they're in. Start chipping away at their hand when they already have very few resources. Castle Locthwain. It's not a bad pickup. Pew. User, discard a card. I don't care which one. Come on. My children need wine. Good times. Tracker. Nice. Tell you, when the sun hits those hills. Ooh. Yeah, that is abrupt. They go on 0 cards for it, so it's not too bad. Hopefully they drew something uncastable. They do get our devotion down to 0. Okay. So I can play Liliana, tick up on Advocate. They can spend all their mana booting up Quagmire, put her to 4 next turn I play. The Murderous Rider, she goes to 3. Yeah, I think that's the way I want to do this. incentivizing them to spend their mana next turn attacking Liliana for 2 rather than doing anything else. Obviously, if they draw a land, it's... We really want to kill this Advocate soon because it's about to get big. And it's going to make their Quagmire bigger. Then I can get a Castle Locthwain activation by burning this Nykthos. No, I played a land already. Can't do that. Shrink the Advocate. Hopefully they don't top deck a land. But then most of the other things they could top deck will be really good here. So, alright. Let's dodge the good top decks. Not a land. Not a land or removal spell. Actually, a removal spell that costs at least 2 mana. Yeah, well. Ah, well. Got some good live draws in our deck, and we've got a Castle Locthwain in play, so we're in an okay spot. That is pretty good draw. Is it? Yeah, it's pretty good. Let's just drain them for 4 here. Suppose I could have pumped them by attacking with Murderous Rider, leaving all my mana open. Maybe they block, maybe they don't. Alright, that's a big play for them. So I could toss both my guys in front of his and Quagmire, but I'm just going to take the 8 this turn. Sucks, but that's where we're at. Really need to draw removal. That is not removal. Okay. God, it's so brutal. Alright. Sylvan Advocate being a house in this game. So group blocking here makes me more likely to get blown out. It's not good enough, right? Yeah, so I can play Passage, activate Castle. Gifted Aetherborn is really good here. They don't have a removal spell. I go Merchant blocks the Quagmire, Aetherborn blocks the Advocate, and we kind of get out from under the Abyss. But unfortunately, they were to Fatal Push, so they put us in a tough spot there. I left all my pushes in, right? No, I cut 1. Huh. Well, that's how she goes. Can I cut one of the Tymaret call Chosen from Death? No, I'll cut one of the Yarok's Fenlurkers instead if I have the chance. So I guess they're better on the play. Alrighty. Game the 3rd. Neat matchup against Sylvan Advocate Rock. This is the kind of mid-range deck we can contend with. Well, this could be really good. My 25 land deck just needs to get to 3. Alright, I'm going to keep this. Super risky hand, but we have Thoughtseize on 1 and Fatal Push from that point forward, so maybe we'll be okay. Agonizing Remorse on 2. Scoos or Advocate. Doesn't really matter which one we take. I think I gotta take the Thoughtseize, unfortunately. Because if they're able to take my push, it's just more mana efficient. That's not a land. Alright. Come on, deck. Let's do it. Let's get there. Oh, why? Alright. Classic Thoughtseize bug. I mean, at least they're not doing anything else with this turn, but pretty much guarantee they're taking our push, which means we don't get to have Remorse into push. I don't really think there's any other reasonable choice. I think they take the push here. It's double Grey Merchants taunting me. Big chonky boys. Look how chonk. They took Davriel. That's bold. Apparently correct. Yep. Alright. This is it. This is the turn. This is where we gotta hit it. I want to hit it and quit it. Yeah, alright. So if I hadn't hit the land that turn, I would have been in Agonizing Remorse, but luckily we got there. So they got Swamp Vraska Pirate Captain. Running off the lands, baby. Okay. Play Tymaret. Because the Fenlurker is better the lower they go on cards in hand. So if they go draw land spell next turn, then we sure. That's a really good spell for them to have. Okay, so they've got 2 cards left in hand. Assuming they play the Rider here. Yeah, they do. Which means I get to take out Vraska or the other card, whatever it be. Land or waste. Okay, so we took out the land, so hopefully they don't just top deck a land and play the darn it. Alright, so we got to top deck Murderous Rider real quick, or we are going to be in some trouble. Okay. Fenlurker for no value. Looks like the other mid-range deck's going to go over the top of us. Yeah. This does make me wonder about playing Karn. Minus 10? Oh my god, so we're just dead, huh? And we're dropping to 2 and 3. Yeah, okay. Does make me wonder about playing Karn in a black-green list. So 1 and 3, not a great record here. I don't know if I'm making serious missteps with the deck or it's just not as powerful as some of the other cards or the other versions, but oh, toasty warm in this extra shirt. Shoot. God, iPhone, earphones, earbuds do not work with my ears. They just fall out like nothing. All right. All right, the final match. Let's get our 50 play points back. Well, this is one of the better keeps, assuming that our opponent is playing creatures. Dang it. Could still be spirits, not blue-white control. Okay, Karn, this is your last match. Let's see if you can shine here. Bant spirits? Bant control? Bant company? Let's find out. I'm going to start off with Gifted Aetherborn here. If this is Bant spirits or Bant company, then I definitely want Death Touch Lifelink on the battlefield earlier. It is. Okay, good. I think this should be a reasonable matchup for us, but as with every deck, the Spirits deck can definitely get around you. They're very tricky. They have lots of ways to generate card advantage. They have unbelievable tempo. They can put very, very quick clock into play. Okay, so that's Spell Queller for show. Go attack. So if I play Fenlurker, it incentivizes them to fire off their Spell Queller. Whereas if I play nothing, it kind of taxes their mana more than mine, because they've left up 3 on the play. Thing is, Rattle Chains gives them options other than Spell Queller. Now that they've played the Spectral Sailor, I'm going to push their chains. Cool. Spectral Sailor is now an acceptable resolve. Although this is another really great card in that deck, because when you have a Collected Company in hand and the Spectral Sailor in play, you holding up 4 mana just looks like you're going to activate the Sailor. Doesn't tip off your opponent that you're going to do anything else. They considered tapping down and then they didn't. Not exactly sure what that means. We're going to attack. Spellcaller is a 2/3. My 2/3 Death Touch Lifelink really trumps that nicely. I think now that I only have the 1 push in hand, I'm going to fire off the second Gifted Aetherborn. I think they probably had a Lord in hand that they elected not to play, held up the Spell Queller. Queller's okay here. I hope the Lord in their hand is Supreme Phantom and not Empyrean Eagle, but the way they were tapping looked like it's probably the Eagle. No play. Only attacks the Spectral Sailor. Okay. They don't have a Rattle Chain, so they can't play a Lord at instant speed, so I'm not exactly sure what this turn means, but I'm going to keep cracking in with this sweet Aetherborn Vampire. Hello, Spell Queller. Would you like to block me? No. Very well. Alright. Definitely don't want to play Liliana. Don't want to tap off a Fatal Push here. I think Fenlurker is like the best thing to do. Although if it resolves, Gifted Aetherborn is clearly nuts here, so let's just play that. Another Gifted Aetherborn. Hopefully this one resolves. Sick double spell queller draw opponent. Yep. They never don't have infinite spell quellers. Remember that. Taking 4 here, but we're only going down to 18. Gifted Aetherborn's been putting in so much work. Interesting. Alright. So I'm going to attack with the Aetherborn. If for any reason they're able to make a play that takes it off the battlefield, we're going to be able to push one of their Quellers. Can't imagine they have yet another Spell Queller, but if they do, it's going to be real good. Okay, so exile card from their hand. Got one of their companies that they can't play yet. Yeah. As much as they've been kind of lucky with the double Queller, they certainly have not been lucky. Alright, yeah. Spectral Sailor. Not particularly useful here. I wonder if they have a Lord now, and then they crack in for like 10? No. Okay. Just 4. That's fine. So we're going to keep all our mana up. Goodness gracious, 4 Gifted Aetherborn draw against them. If they double block my Fenlurker, I'm just going to pump it. It's entirely possible they didn't know that card could do that. Rattle chains, sure. Six in the air. Yeah, this race is going to start getting tight. So, because we're going to go up to 14, then down to 8, then up to 10, then down to 4. So, still ahead, but the fact... Okay, that's a sick draw. Eagle, yeah. Wow, that's such a good hand. I think I have to take the Selfless Spirit and hope that they don't draw land. Definitely have to attack with Gifted Aetherborn. Being at 10 is not tenable. Second Gifted Aetherborn might be okay. And then I gotta fade the land, plus another Lord would be exceptionally bad as well. $13 damage right now in the air, so it could have been. Only doing 9, huh? And they have... They have a Rattle Chains in hand. I know that for sure. Okay. So Rattle Chains can stop my Liliana uptick. They have to block all of my creatures if I swing, which means my Fenlurker is going to die. No, they can let one through. But then I'll gain 4. Let's see how this goes. I think attacking is objectively correct. Gain. Okay. I think I gotta hope for a misplay here. So the way this goes down, I have Revolt on now. Play Liliana. Uptick on the, I think I'm screwed no matter what. Yeah, it doesn't matter, huh? Come on. Do it. Bite. Play the Rattle Chains. Do it. This is totally going to kill. Damn it. So they have 9. Alright. Alright, so we died. They just were able to aggro us out. We were like 22 to them being at like 14. Ooh. Hold on. Okay, so that means we're even more dead, I guess, than we were supposed to be. Jeez. They really had it all, huh? Alright, so I can kill one of their lords. So I think we just let that resolve. Then we push that. And then we take 1 billion damage and die, so it doesn't matter. Alright, let's go game 2. Spirits, once again, my nemesis, always getting us out. Don't think any of our sideboard cards are worth bringing in, so just going to hope for a slightly better draw here. This is okay. Needs a second black source. Brazen Borer. Gross. So because I don't have any removal spells in hand that can kill the Queller, I definitely have to take it. But it's a little bit on the fence. Queller's not that much of a problem if you can actually kill it, but last game was a swamp. Oh boy. Oh boy. Alright, so I guess I should have mulliganed more aggressively here, but it feels real bad. Man, that's brutal. One Nykthos, why? Yeah, alright, so definitely should have mulliganed more aggressively. I understand this is my fault here, but it's just so tough. Sure, Selfless Spirit, why not? If we draw the extra swamp here, it's not too bad because then we get to kill this. Alright, so going to be able to mitigate the damage a little bit here. Liliana is going to get petty thefted at minimum, but resolves. Don't have the rattle chains. Don't do it. Have a heart. Have a heart. Don't do it. Yep. Cool. So they can brazenly borrow, pettily thieve my Liliana, but it's not too bad. They will do so. Okay. Jeez. So we get to hit the Nebelgast Herald or the other card that's in their hand. With my luck right now, it's gonna be a land. So they get to go Brazen Borrower, Nebelgast Herald this turn. So, but we'll be able to Liliana and kill their Borrower. So it's not too bad. But again, okay, so they drew Collected Company or some kind of disruption, but I cannot afford to play around it right now, so. Brazen Borrower is not a spirit, so Rattle Chains doesn't do it there. Nebelgast Herald does not have flash on its own, so I'm not guessing we're just going to see end of turn Collected Company here. It's freaking Gifted Aetherborns. It's just been such a bad draw. It has flash. Okay, my bad. For some reason I thought this did not have flash. I guess it would be pretty bad if it didn't. Not particularly bad, but like certainly not very good. Okay, so Liliana dies to this, so my bad. This is how well I know the cards in this format. They always have a Rattle Chains when they have Nebelgast Herald, so, or at least in my experience they have. I guess exiling the last card in their hand is valuable, assuming that this is just another land. Cool. Alright, well, we're not dead yet, but we will be soon. Six. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. So taking 7 this turn. So I need to do something about my life total. So if I top deck a land, I can Gray Merchant. But that doesn't... God, why does Spirits have such a fast clock? Okay, so we're just dead. Yeah, we're just dead. Brutal. Oh, no, wait. I have mana for Gray Merchant here. Alright. Don't ignore the fact that Nykthos makes extra mana. And then actually I ripped a second Gray Merchant here, so maybe we pull back into this. Let's see. Definitely drain them for 6 there. Drain them for more than 8 next turn. So Nykthos taps for 6. I have 7 mana. I can play Tymaret or Gifted Aetherborn and then the Gray Merchant. So Don't quell me. Cling gains me 3. Land would have been great to draw, but that's okay. So if my Gifted Aetherborn gets quelled, still have to play Grey Merchant. I think I still die. If this resolves, though, I think I straight up kill him. I can just, yeah. There are 2. This attack is lethal. Come on, boys. Oh, sick. Hilarious. What a ridiculous game. So double Grey Merchant. So really, really, really bad keep, but we got there in the end. So now we get a game 3. Sick. Okay. This does actually have 2 blacks, so I think it has 2 black, Aetherborn, and removal spells. I'm keeping it, but it's got a lot of clunk. This deck feels very clunky to me. I don't know. So if I peel Fatal Push here, would have been good. Nykthos is not too bad. Oops. That's sick bluff. Letting my opponent know I probably have a Fatal Push. I don't. Don't play Supreme Phantom. Damn it. Alright. Okay, I guess we're dying this game. I mean, I do have Gifted Aetherborn on too, so definitely one of the better draws against them. Unless they have Brazen Borrower again. Ooh. Don't have a land here. Could be okay. Although they can Mausoleum Wanderer my Murderous Rider, which feels bad. Jeez, that's so much damage so quickly. So leaving Double Lord in play, I think, is a completely nonsensical thing to do. We gotta attempt to kill a Lord. They're gonna Mausoleum Wanderer it. We lose our Swift, or we lose our Murderous Rider, but depending on the rest of their hand, this could be our way into this game. So if they don't, yeah, they don't peel a land. So go to 9, go to 11. If they're all on all 3 and 4s. Okay, Thoughtseize is a little sketchy, but I guess. Oh, if there's a Rattle Change, this could be. No, because it trades for it. Shh. What? So good. All right. They have another Brazen Borer, so I guess we're definitely playing Fenlurker here. We got a top deck removal. So this is going to slam their hand a little bit, but we're already so low. Deputy. Yeah, that makes sense. So I just have to rip a Fatal Push or I'm dead, which is, that's where we were anyway, because they have the Petty Theft for the Gifted Aetherborn, so. Oh, and they have a Shock, so that could be, the Nimbleghast Herald. Can play Nykthos. Keep that one. Play Gifted Aetherborn. Tap this for Devotion to Black, which is 4. Play my Karn. It doesn't matter, but this is like optimal sequencing for this turn. Definitely felt like this deck was an awkward fit for Karn. Maybe good against Inverter and Lotus Breach, but I really and I can't attack into it. Yeah, we're just dead. So 1 and 4, rough break. So yeah, I put off playing this deck yesterday because the mono white Karn deck had the mono white Devotion Shell in it, and that looked promising to me. After playing this deck, it's got some serious clunk issues, and I thought the Pioneer Niv Mizzet deck was super clunky, but at least it was overwhelmingly powerful when you hit your 4 and 5 mana spells. This one, while it does have some interesting meta choices against a broader field like we played there, it felt real rough. And obviously there were some questionable draws on my side in terms of, or questionable keeps and some medium draws, but this deck might be a miss for me, which is a shame because I really wanted to like it. It's got a lot of things going on that I definitely am a fan of, and generally am a fan of Aspiringspike's deck building. Anywho, gonna hop over to this train wreck in Modern. This is the Iceberg deck from a recent face-to-face open. So stick around for that. If you're checking this out on YouTube, you can check out that video. You can check out some of my other videos. You can hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. Check me out on Twitter and Twitch at Mana Symbol, CYMBAL. I'll see you in a few minutes.